Hey everybody! In today's video, we are going to make a super fun, spooky collage Halloween card. So I bought, well, if I'm just being honest, I've a large collection of Halloween ephemera. I'm not going to lie. But I did recently buy 2 new super fun vintage Halloween ephemera books, which I will link to you in the description. And the most important thing when you are buying collage materials, and I know I shouldn't have to say this, but it's a thing, so I'm going to, is that the ephemera be printed on one side only. You would not believe how much collage material I have that is printed on both sides, which means you just throw away half of everything you buy. It's insane. So these 2 books are really fun, and they're also only printed on one side. And now seems like a good time to announce that I'm going to have a very fun multi-part class on how to collage, how to organize your collage supplies, the different principles of collage, tips for making it fun, etc. So I thought that this card might be a good way to show you the very simplest principles of collage and how fun it can be. So the background here is the raven, and this is also from one of these books, and I'm just putting it down onto a card base. It was larger and I just cut it down. I do love this little spreader for making sure that everything lays down smoothly when I collage. I think this is an essential collage tool. And I also cut out the raven and this hilarious skull image, which is only going to get funnier because I got some input from one of my live viewers that really kind of gilded the lily on this image, as you will see very soon. So I cut out the raven and just glued him to the back of the top hat that the skull is wearing. So he's sort of peeking out, and I made sure that that fit on the card front perfectly. Now, it doesn't really matter that this skeleton is smoking because he's already dead, so don't be too judgy about that. I have a little sentiment from one of the books that has the whole quote, the raven nevermore thing, but it's too big, so I'm just going to use nevermore. Everyone will understand what that means. And this lines up perfectly with the music notes, and I can sort of align it against the right edge of that card and still have room for my little collaged raven and smoking skeleton in a top hat. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is where it starts to get good. So one of the fun things that I like to do when I'm collaging is add glitter. So see this little hat band? You can barely see it because it's sort of tone on tone on the black, but I can see it a little bit better in person. And what I'm going to do is cover that with glue, and I'm going to use a pin to really get into the finer points of this little hat band and make sure that everything is covered with glue so that it will all pick up the glitter in the shape that I want. Now, I also will have some tips for removing unwanted glitter if you have a little bit of extra glitter on your project. So here you can see where that little line of glue between the raven and the hat picked up some extra glitter, but no problem. I just dusted it off, and then I'm using an adhesive eraser, which will erase both the extra adhesive that picked up the glitter and the glitter. So don't worry about that. That is definitely not the end of your project. Now I put a little bit on the end of his cigarette so it looks like this cigarette is lit. And I'm using this fun little brush and silicone tool to get the excess off. Now, at this point, I thought I was done, but one of my friends suggested that this skull should actually also have a gold tooth. And so I thought, you know what? Why not? It's 2022. It's Halloween, almost. Let's give him a gold tooth. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, this gold glitter is like a holographic glitter and actually has several different color tones in it. I love it. I will try to find where I bought it from, but I'm not sure that I can because it's not labeled. But here I am deciding whether or not I'm going to put the gold tooth on, and then I give in to peer pressure, and I'm so glad I did. And I put a little dot of glue onto the tooth with pin and then add the glitter. Oh my gosh. When I finished this, what I said was, this is like a Keith Richards Halloween card. It has that sort of Keith Richards feel, even though Keith Richards doesn't have a gold tooth. But this is seriously so much better with the gold tooth. I cannot even describe how joyful I was to add that little detail and be finished with that. Now, I was going to add a wax seal onto the card with this little bee, but then it turned out, because of the size of the skull and the raven, that I didn't really have room for it and it didn't make sense. But I thought I would just show you how beautifully detailed this little bee wax stamper is. It's gorgeous. This is one of the first paper crafting activities that I did, was wax seals. This was something that was very popular in the late 1900s when I was first starting to craft, and I love it to this day. I also feel like the wax now is more flexible and not as brittle, and I love all the detail that you get in that bee. Like, look at this up close, the detail of the wings and the little furry parts of the bee are so incredible. So this is still one of my favorite activities, and I love this particular image. Lots of different wax options available. You can also use crayons. So I didn't end up adding it to the card, but I still love the card. I'm going to have to figure out who to send this one to because it's very, very, very special. I might have to send it to the lady that gave me the idea for the gold tooth because that is just over the top cute. So head over to my blog for more information, and thanks so much for watching.